Did you all hear that?
Yeah, I think everyone heard that. That's a new feature.
Okay.
Thank you, Zoom.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to Scripts Out Loud at CMC. Thank you so much for being here to watch us play rather than those blinking footballers. Scripts Out Loud was born out of lockdown. It was a seedling of an idea that was nurtured with mutual love for creating characters and sharing stories through the medium of animation. And it's blossomed into a wonderful thing that has led us onto all sorts of wonderful directions.
One of our greatest collaborations has been with the Cloth Cat animation people, who have sponsored us for this event and are supporting us in other ways too. Thank you, Cloth Cat. We love you. At Scripts Out Loud, we are on a mission to bring people together who are interested in the process of character development in animation, from conception to completion, and everyone in between. Tonight, we want to invite you into a virtual voice recording session to show you how us voice actors work and how we can contribute to your production. Now, onto the event. We are playing about with two fantastic scripts, Robyn Crusoe and Benji Gunn by J.D. Savage and Reef Rockers by Pete Phillips.
So we'll start each piece by hearing from the writer or the creator, and we'll work on finding the characters with voice director Barry Purvis before performing the script for you. And after each one, we'll have 5 minutes to hear from Barry and John Rennie, who is MD of Cloth Cat Animation and whose work includes The Rubbish World of Dave Spurd, Grandpa in My Pocket, and Ola Bob Top. Oh, yes. You are most welcome to ask questions at this point or put comments in the chat, raise your hand using the reactions icon in Zoom, or just wave frantically at the screen.
So if you are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts and brace yourself for a high-speed creative roller coaster that'll leave you amazed and amused at the talents on all sides of the animation equation.
You might want to top up your drinks and settle in. Over to you, Barry.
Okay, lovely to see everybody and international. I've got a storm going on outside, so I hope I don't disappear. If I do, I'll be back in 30 seconds. Welcome to a glimpse into a voice recording session. In the scheme of production, recording of the character voices would happen, obviously, after the scripts have been written, but well before production. Hopefully there may be drawings and artwork or even puppets of the actual characters to help the voice artists. But if schedules allowed, I'd welcome the designers and especially the animators into such a session. And the voice artists they get very physical, and the actions of the usually very hyperactive voice performers, as you can see, could really inspire the artists and the animators. But animation is a long, drawn-out, fragmented process, and usually the voice recording sessions are an isolated part of the process. We'd quite like to develop and change that a bit and let the voice performers be in a position to contribute more to the writing, or at least let the writers hear their words and rhythms before committing to a record. The vocal performance of a character should never be underestimated and can both illuminate a script and maybe harm it in bad occasions, but mostly illumination. Ideally, it would be good to have the performers all together in the same booth on separate mics so they can be separated out. Them having eye contact is important, as is the ability to stand and move around and hear the physicality in the voices. Having a rehearsal or playtime, as we are tonight, is quite a luxury. And though the artists may have several dozen episodes to record, these sessions can be months apart. And finding that distinct and familiar voice after a long period away is a special skill. It really is. My job as a director is to tie the voices into the characters, imagining the action of the characters further down the process. I have to tell the performers if a character is likely to be running or whether they are shouting at each other across the field or whispering into each other's ears. I have to look at the physicality of the character design and see if there's an opportunity for a particular vocal trick or physical peculiarities. I'd love the animators to be involved at this stage, as they can contribute bits of business. Traditionally, the voices are done with spaces in between each line and very clean recordings. But personally, I try to avoid that if I can, to make to stop the voice becoming a cold voiceover. I'm not fond of cold, detached voices, I have to say. I have to make the animation and the voice inseparable, one and the same thing. And there are little tricks like having the character stutter or cough or breathe heavily that are a joy for the animator. These unexpected quirks relate the voice to the character. I love characters treading on each other's lines, interrupting, giving a spontaneous feel and an energy. Anything that helps give life to the characters. Of course, clarity is essential, particularly for children's programs. Incidentally, the worst job in animation used to be breaking down the recorded dialogue that we're doing tonight into syllable and sounds so that the animator could then match the mouth shapes. It would drive you mad to listen to sentences and the phonetics. Fortunately, that's all done on computers now, and the animator gets to read the dialogue as waveforms concurrent with the voice. Lip syncing is a whole nother evening that we won't go into. But tonight, the performers are not in the same space, but we will have fun with the characters, imagining how they eventually will be animated. And the two scripts we have tonight are particularly crazy. We've got fish and robots and all sorts of high-speed things. So welcome to an evening where we're going to try and find the voices. We may not find them, or we may find something totally different. But you will hear a lot of surprising voices, I hope. So over to the first writer.
Is that going to be me?
Yes.
Me? Yes. Well, Robyn Crusoe and Benji Gunn is about two completely opposite kid castaways stranded on the same desert island. So it's a little like Lord of the Flies, but with only two kids and one posh robot. And Robyn's a very new kind of Crusoe. She's female, very liberal, progressive, child of nature who's a bit hippie, a little bit hello birds, hello trees. And there's something of the Pippi Longstocking about her, I think, in that she's resilient and unshakable and positive. And the quirky bunch of animals that live on the island very quickly make friends with her. And Robyn's probably the kind of girl who'd really enjoy her time on the island, exploring the forests and jungles and beautiful lagoons and beaches until she's rescued. Unfortunately, though, she has to share the island with another kid castaway,
Yeah.
called Benji Gunn, who's also 9 years old, but he's a spoiled upper-class brat and a mini megalomaniac, I should say. He's been used to getting everything he wants very fast since birth. His ambition when he grows up is to rule the world, but for now the island will do. And his parents have actually left him on the island in the middle of nowhere so they can have a 2-month vacation, which is basically a 2-month vacation from him. But it's not as bad as it sounds, because they've left him in the very capable metallic hands of Waddington, who is his robot nanny come tutor come butler. He's a bit like Jeeves, as played by Stephen Fry, I think of him, if Jeeves was metallic. And he protects Benji, but he also keeps him in check, and he keeps his behavior in check until a falling coconut changes things a little, as you'll hear tonight. And I think it's all set in that kind of classic anarchic cartoon universe, which satirizes time and space and logic and the laws of physics and mass energy. It's a world that only really adheres to the laws of comedy, as I see it. It's not set in the real world. And I thought it'd be a lot of fun. Sorry?
Can I ask, what sort of technique do you see it in?
How do you mean?
Is it stop motion, draw?
Oh, no, I see it as 2D animation.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
how I'm kind of steeped in. I do see it as animation, not. I know you like to be stop motion.
Well, no. What's wonderful about drawn animation, and will suit your script particularly, we can really stretch and squash the characters.
That's what I was. That's it. Yeah, that's what I was.
Could be a helpful clue to the voice artists. Stop motion, you can stretch and squash, but they are much more grounded and physical and heavy. but I think voice actors, if you're listening, drawn characters can really, the Tom and Jerry running around corners with the bottom behind, we can really stretch and squash. And that's something to bear in mind when we go into playtime.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking. Like, like I said, that kind of classic anarchic cartoon universe that satirizes and bends time and space and matter.
Yeah,
that is suited to kind of animation. I thought there's a lot of fun to be had in subverting the classic tropes of desert island castaway fiction. Finding a treasure map, a visit from pirates.
yeah.
Finding an idol in a ruined temple. Will it bring good luck or bad luck? Exploring the mysterious north side of the island. There's lots of desert island tropes you can have fun with, but also I think a lot of the storylines will come from the clashing desires of the characters, because they do rub a bit against each other in terms of philosophy and desires and wants. Thought there'd be a lot of fun and storylines in that.
Okay, shall we go into playtime?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
let's do
ready.
it.
Points are ready to go.
As the writer was just saying, there are two stories here, so we really need to find story A and story B and the clash of things. We've got animals, and I don't mean the voice artist, but we've got a lot of animals. So as it were, the elephant in the room is,
There's no elephant.
do we make them animals or we just give them voices? I'd like to try and let's have a read through and push the animal voices. We can't slow them down because I get the impression from this script that it's very quick, very punchy. We're cutting from one scene to another. So I think that helps in the voices. I think there's a lot of energy in the script. And heavens, the first, poor girl is shipwrecked and stranded within the first 10 seconds, and I think that's the pace. So when we come to the animals, bear that in mind. And I'd be interested, particularly in Waddington. Waddington has an interesting journey because he's got to be he's good Waddington and bad Waddington. So I like the Stephen Fry thing. I suspect a slightly even camper Stephen Fry. So he contrasts with the bad robot, and maybe give him we need to find a really vocal difference from the thing. So is everybody happy to read through? We've got 15 minutes to go through it a couple of times. So, but don't worry, you're not auditioning. You're not auditioning.
Nathan, you're on mute, my friend.
That's how he likes it.
Yeah, sorry.
Good.
So we are going to have a small bit of narration just to set the scene, but we are on a desert island, guys, miles away from anywhere. So the visuals will be lovely. And there are animals, and yeah, the Lord of the Flies metaphor is good. But we do have a monkey, a monitor lizard, a parrot. So it's really a chance to have fun with the voices. I think Robyn probably is the grounding through this, from which the others can bounce off. But and the boy, Benji, it may take a while to find him, but I think he's annoying, he's stroppy, he's probably got very big front teeth, and probably
Typecasting. I'm playing Benji.
and probably went to Eton Junior and is getting his way.
I was going to suggest, I thought maybe he should have a kind of silly voice, because his megalomaniac, to render it ridiculous. So he's not an unpleasant character. So, he's a kind of ridiculous character. So he's not threatening. That kind of renders his world domination ambitions
Yes.
He seems quite
Okay.
demanding. Anyway, I think we've got a couple of times we can go through this one, being a very short script. So if the narrator would like to start, well,
Yes.
we'd like to start on page 1.
Very good. Ready.
We'll
Here we
try and
go.
do some sound effects with this, yes, everyone?
yes,
Should we give
yes.
it a go?
Yes.
Sound effects.
Yeah, I'm ready
Let's
for that.
see.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
good.
In this reading, let's treat the animals as animals.
Okay, they are animals. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robyn Crusoe lies in her back garden swimming pool on an inflatable lilo. Calm music plays. Peace.
Things may be peaceful now, but as Robyn Crusoe is about to learn, you must never fall asleep on an inflatable lilo and drift too far from shore.
Robyn, asleep on her lilo, drifts out across the wide open sea.
Or you could drift across the sea.
Dun, dun, dun. Robyn, asleep, floats on as shark fins swim around her lilo. Dunna, 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 dunna. Cross seriously choppy waters, tossed by big waves. Then through a tropical storm, remaining asleep throughout. She washes up on a desert island shore and wakes. Huh? What? Where?
Robyn is lucky. She survived to become a desert island castaway.
Pull out to reveal the stunning vista of a classic desert island. Lots of golden sands, rainforest up in the hills. But I was just in my back garden swimming pool. Oh, this place really does look deserted. She cautiously enters the dark, shadowy forest, pushing vines aside to peer through. Hello? Is anyone there? I come in peace. And can I use your toilet? Boy, I had to end up in this lonely place.
You won't be lonely here.
Not with us animals.
Whoa! You guys can talk! Tubular!
That's right. Many years ago,
Flashback.
this island used to test nuclear weapons.
One nuclear bomb goes off, followed by another 9 in rapid succession. Boom, 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 boom. Awesomely dramatic.
Yeah, they work.
It changed the island forever.
Back to present day.
Every future generation of animals born here could talk.
Whoa. But I thought radiation just made people turn into big green monsters when they get angry.
No, of course not. It doesn't. What a ridiculous thing to think.
Parakeet grows big muscles, tearing off its shirt, and turns into a green, incredible Hulk parakeet.
Parakeet will smash.
Well, it's good of you all to welcome me to the island. You guys are super friendly. The animals are looking up at the cap she's wearing. She pulls it off to reveal a peanut butter sandwich on top of her head. And maybe you could also smell the peanut butter sandwich I keep under my cap. The animals drool. Rapid pan, right. On the beach on the island's far shore stands rich boy Benji Gunn with his mother and father.
But on the other side of the island, someone else has come ashore.
Why have we stopped here? Well, Benjikins, you know how we told you we were taking you on a cruise to Spain so you could visit Barcelona football stadium? Yeah, then you're going to buy it for me and fill it up with chicken nuggets.
Well, in fact, Benji Poobs, me and your mother are really going on a 2-month world cruise by ourselves, leaving you here on this island with Waddington.
Pull back so Waddington, a robot valet-cum-nanny dressed like a classic English butler, comes into view.
Your robot nanny, who's perfectly equipped to look after you and would school you every day, so you in 2 months again. Bye, 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 bye.
Mum gives Benji a kiss.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Then both parents run to the sea, jump in a little motorboat, and speed off even faster over the horizon.
Meow.
Right, let's do this, Waddington. Can you build a treehouse?
I am programmed to perform that function, Master Benji.
Rapid pan left. Robyn's side of the island. Robyn has put together a makeshift shelter. Ah, thanks for helping me to build this great shelter. Part of it falls down.
The emergency exit. Ah!
Rapid pan right. Benji's side of the island.
Is the treehouse to your liking, Master Benji?
So it's got a lounge, an outdoor patio, a master bedroom suite with underfloor heating?
Yes, Master Benji. But are you sure you need the 7-car garage?
Pan rapid left. Robyn walks along with her animal friends. You know, I think I'll enjoy trying to survive here till I'm rescued. This place is so beautiful. Back home, my mom says I spend way too much time on my smartphone and staring at screens. But I'll really get to connect with nature here. Pull out to reveal the animals walking with her, all looking at their smartphones. The monkey looks up.
Did you say something?
Hey, you have smartphones here. I can call for help.
Oh, no. They all just washed up on the beach one day, yeah. Oh, none of them work. No.
Well, I guess it'll be a long time before I hear the reassuring sound of another human voice. Benji watching through a telescope.
Hey! Little Miss Duty Face! Yes, you, queen of all duty faces, over here!
Benji's side of the island. Benji is up a palm tree.
Oh, it's no use. He can't. It's no use. She can't hear me.
Time for your school lessons, Master Benji.
No, not now, Waddington. There's another kid here, and I'm king of this island. She has to serve me.
Waddington grabs Benji. Pulls him down the tree's woody trunk.
You'll pay for that, Waddington. You've bruised not only my dignity, but also my bottom.
Schoolwork comes first, Master Benji. We'll start with arithmetic.
From the top of the tree, a coconut shaken loose by the tussle drops. It lands on Waddington's head. Electric sparks fly and Waddington's appearance changes. His shoulders now hunched, an evil grin on his metallic face.
Yes, Master Benji, you must become the king of this island and make sure that other kids know it.
Okay, that donut damaged his circuits. He's become an evil robot assistant. Now I'm really going to have fun on this island.
They creep forward in the direction of Robyn with evil grins on their faces. Then sparks fly from Waddington's head again, and he turns back into his old snooty self, grabbing Benji and pulling him back through the sand.
We'll start by going through your times tables, Master Benji.
Huh? What? No!
Sparks fly from Waddington's head again, and he turns back into an evil robot, letting go of Benji.
What are you waiting for, Master Benji? Let's make that kid worship her bratty, rich boy, and posh robot overlords.
They creep back in the direction of Robyn with evil grins on their faces. Then sparks fly from Waddington's head again, and he turns back into his snooty butler form, grabbing Benji by the collar and pulling him back through the sand.
And then we'll do some additions and subtractions, and then some simple fractions.
Is Benji Gunn's hour of vengeance at hand? Will he conquer the island and make Robyn bow to his every fiendish whim? Will he learn to multiply decimals by other decimals, as well as whole numbers by the power of 10? Find out next time.
Lovely guys, lovely guys. A few thoughts. Waddington, could we be
Yes.
fruitier?
Fruitier, yes, of
Really,
course.
really relish. We were talking about Stephen Fry earlier.
Yes.
Really relish the words and
Yes.
chew over every word.
Yes.
So the contrast when he becomes the bad one is even more contrast. I love that Maggie Thatcher appeared somewhere along the way in there as one of the animals.
I did that last time, didn't I? My lizard.
It's a
Well,
solid
sorry.
voice.
I'm sure she'd be flattered. I would push Des the narration even more knowing and exciting. I mean,
Okay.
it's quite hard to judge timing on this because we've got the stage directions and the narration, but so the pacing is not what it would be on the film. But the animals, there was some lovely stuff going on with the animals. Perhaps they could each have the parakeet maybe have a vocal tick. It repeats the last word or something, as parrots tend to do. And the maybe the monkey is forever eating something and
Okay, yeah.
because they have these wonderful teeth that they chatter and everything. Robyn, I would say she needs to drive a bit more. Did we talk about being American? Not that it makes any difference.
I think, yes.
JD was after that, weren't you?
JD, you after her being American?
I thought so. If she was a kind of a bit of a Californian hippie type to contrast with the upper class, English.
She's in a swimming pool in her garden. I mean, there's not many of those here.
I'm
You
coming
shouldn't say
live.
that at the very start, by the way, because that's a gag that's revealed later that she's in a swimming.
I'll take it out. I'll take it out.
Oh,
spoiler there
okay,
for
yeah.
Crossed out. Not saying it. Delete.
So Rianne, maybe the hippy dippy thing that JD
Hippy dippy thing.
Yeah.
Hippy dippy thing. Higher.
softer.
Softer. Okay. Is that it? I said tubular. To kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's quite nice, but don't lose the energy.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought maybe a bit faster, not quite so drawn out, so the rhythm of the
Faster.
the jokes
Okay.
doesn't get too drawn out.
Very good.
Yeah. But Nathan, do you want to just read something of Waddington?
Yeah, I would. I'd love to. Yeah.
On the last page 8, he's got 2 speeches there.
So there's
where he's
where's he normal? He's normal at the top, isn't he?
Page 8 will start by going through your 10 times table. So really a bit more fruity, and he's got a longer speech coming up.
Wow. We'll start by going through your times table, Master Benji. We'll start by going through your times table, Master Benji.
Still more fruity, I think.
Okay, cool.
What does fruity mean?
Yeah.
Tell us what fruity means, Barry.
Me.
Fruity.
Do you mean something like
Nutty.
more of a lisp, more like
Yes.
pushing that sort of lispy action?
Yes, and more sing-song.
Okay.
We'll start by going through the
Great.
sort of modulates up and down and things. Bit camper, just so that the bad one has got something to play again. Yeah.
We'll start by going through your times table, Master Benji. We'll start by going through your times table, Master Benji. We'll start by going through your times table, Master Benji.
Okay, that's getting there. And Des, as narrated, do you want to have a go at that last speech again, Benji Gunn's, and really make it turn up the excitement a bit, and turn up the sort of the 1930s serial.
Okay.
The action. Imagine exciting music going on underneath.
Is Benji Gunn's hour of vengeance at hand? Will he conquer the island and make Robin bow to his every fiendish whim? Will he learn how to multiply decimals by other decimals, and as well as whole numbers and powers of 10? Find out next time.
That's lovely. That was better. Now try and make it a little sarcastic.
Is Benji Gunn's hour of vengeance at hand? Will he conquer the island and make Robin bow to his every fiendish whim? Will he learn multiple decimals by other? Will he learn how to multiply decimals by other decimals, as well as by whole numbers and powers of 10? Find out next time. Find out next time.
Okay, that was lovely. Anybody want to have another variation of the animals? I loved Mother and Father, by the way. That was great. Julianne, how are you feeling about Benji?
All right. I took into what JD just said then, that he might say all these things that are but actually his voice contradicts what he's saying, because he's trying to be like bigger than he is. I imagine he's like, got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. So but I can, make it even more kind of pathetic if you want, like maybe his voice could sort of break. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh,
so
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, we'll do it again. We'll do it again.
See what comes out.
I'm going to go faster.
Yes.
Faster.
And the monitor lizard. Who was doing the monitor lizard?
Margaret Thatcher was.
Okay. Imagine she's just had a little sniff of whiskey and she's a bit, bit quicker.
Oh, okay, I'll try and do that.
So you could have the same pompous. I'm trying to imagine what a monitor lizard. There's a tongue. I know there's a tongue involved.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I think the important thing, as JD was saying, is not to slow it down.
Okay, pace.
And so this chorus of animals, are chattering away, and I think that's a chance to overlap. And she's suddenly on a desert island, and there's this chorus of animals there, so they need to have an impact. Okay, guys, shall we call it a performance?
Yeah.
We'll go for another go.
JD, do you want to say anything else before?
No, I don't think so. I think.
Did that totally confuse you?
No, that's good. Don't give away the swimming pool gag down there.
I've cut it out. I've cut it
Good.
out.
Good.
Cut it out.
We've cut it out of our minds
Sorry.
as well.
Yeah, hold on. I've gone out of focus.
I did wonder if I just there might be a risk if Waddington is too, the metallic halting is really good because it's like a robot. But again, it might affect the rhythm of the gags if you see which kind of diddle it in. So I was thinking you have to be a bit careful with that just to make sure that the rhythm of the gags still work.
Yeah. So maybe on this one, should I try and just, because once it's animated, you'll see a robot. So I guess you don't have to hear like a robot.
Yeah, I really like
it.
But I think the important thing is the contrast between the two characters, and that we know he's baddie.
Yeah.
Because probably because it'll be the same drawing, so there won't be a visual way of saying he's bad unless he has bad flashing lights or something. Hi, Julianne. We
Sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus.
Oh, yes, I can read palms, dear. You're going to be a voice artist.
Maybe put your hand right over the camera and then completely
right.
obliterate it. And then
Okay.
I can only see 4 people in one go on my phone, so I have to keep swiping to. That's right.
Well, Julianne, you may be out of focus, but your voice isn't. So.
Shall we give it a go, gang?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'd ramp up the narration.
Okay.
I wouldn't slow it down too much. Yes, maybe his eyes do go red. That's a good idea. But I think the big change has to be in the voice and in the acting of the way the robot becomes bad as well. Okay, shall we go again?
Yes, here we go. Robyn Crusoe lies on an inflatable lilo. Calm music plays. Ah, peace.
Things may be peaceful now, but as Robyn Crusoe is about to learn, you must never fall asleep on an inflatable lilo and drift too far from shore.
Robyn, asleep on her lilo, drifts out across the wide open sea.
Or you could drift out to sea.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
Uh,
Robyn asleep. Floats on as shark fins swim around her lilo. Da, 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 da. Then across seriously choppy waters. Tossed by big waves. Then through a tropical storm. Remaining asleep throughout. She washes up on a desert island shore and wakes. Huh? What? Where?
Robyn is lucky she survived to become a desert island castaway.
Pull out to reveal the stunning vista of a classic desert island. Lots of golden sands, rainforest up in the hills. But I was only in my back garden swimming pool. This place really does look deserted. She cautiously enters the dark, shadowy forest, pushing vines aside to peer through. Hello? Is anyone there? I come in peace. And can I use your toilet? Boy, I had to end up in this lonely place. A host of island-dwelling animals suddenly appear in front of her. Monkey, parakeet, and a monitor lizard.
You won't be lonely here.
Not with us animals.
Whoa! You guys can talk!
That's right, many years ago.
Flashback.
This island was used to test nuclear weapons.
One nuclear bomb goes off, followed by another 9 in rapid succession. Boom, 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 boom. Awesomely dramatic.
yeah, they work.
It changed the island forever.
Back to present day.
Every future generation of animals born here could talk.
Of course we could.
Whoa! But I thought radiation just made people turn into a big monster when they get angry.
Squawk! No, of course it doesn't. What a ridiculous thing to think. Squawk!
Parakeet grows big muscles tearing out of its shirt and turns into a green, incredible Hulk parakeet.
Squawk! Parakeet will smash!
Well, it's good of you all to welcome me to the island. You are really friendly. The animals are all looking up at the cap she's wearing. She pulls it off to reveal a peanut butter sandwich on top of her head. And maybe you could also smell the peanut butter sandwich I keep under my cap. Rapid pan right. On the beach on the island's far shore stands rich boy Benji Gunn with his mother and father.
But on the other side of the island, someone else has come ashore.
Why have we stopped off here?
Well, Benjikins, you know how you would... Benjikins, you know how we told you we were taking you on a cruise to Spain so you could visit Barcelona Football Stadium?
Yes, but you're going to buy it for me and fill it up with chicken nuggets.
Well, in fact, Benji Poobs, me and your mum are really going to do a 2-month world cruise by ourselves and leaving you here on the island with Waddington.
Pull back so Waddington, a robot valet-cum-nanny dressed like a classic English butler, comes into view.
Your robot nanny, who's perfectly equipped to look after you and will school you every day. See you in 2 months then. Goodbye.
Mum gives Benji a kiss.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Then both parents run to the sea, jump in a little motorboat, and speed off through the sea to a huge cruise liner, which then speeds off faster over the horizon.
Bye! All right, then let's do this, Waddington. Can you build a treehouse?
I am programmed to perform that function, Master Benji.
Rapid pan left. Robyn's side of the island. Robyn has put together a makeshift shelter. Oh, thanks for helping me to build this great shelter. Part of it falls down.
The emergency exit.
Rapid pan right. Benji's side of the island.
Is the treehouse to your liking, Master Benji?
So it's got a lounge, an outdoor patio, and a master bedroom suite with underfloor heating.
Yes, Master Benji. But are you sure you need a 7-car garage?
Pan rapid left. Robyn walks along with her animal friends. I think I'll enjoy trying to survive here till I'm rescued. This place is so beautiful. Back home, my mom says I spend way too much time on my smartphone and staring at screens, but I'll really get to connect with nature here. Pull out to reveal the animals walking with her, all looking at their smartphones. The monkey looks up.
Say something.
Hey, you have smartphones here. I can call for help.
No, they all just washed up on the beach one day. Can't call it, none of them work.
Well, I guess it'll be a long time before I hear the reassuring sound of another human voice. Benji, watching through a telescope.
Hi, little Miss Doody Face! Yes, you, queen of all Doody Faces! Over here!
Benji's side of the island. Benji is up a palm tree.
Oh, it's no use, she can't hear me.
In time for your school lessons, Master Benji.
Not now, Waddington. There's another kid here, and if I'm king of this island, she has to serve me.
Waddington grabs Benji down the tree's woody trunk.
Come here.
You'll pay for that, Waddington. You've bruised not only my dignity, but also my bottom.
Excuse me, school comes first, Master Benji, and we'll start with arithmetic.
From the top of the tree, a coconut shaken loose by the tussle drops. It lands on Waddington's head. Electric sparks fly and Waddington's appearance changes. His shoulders now hunched, an evil grin on his metallic face.
Yes, Master Benji, you must become king of this island and make sure that that other kid knows it. Wah, ha, 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 ha.
That coconut damaged his circuits. He's become an evil robot assistant. Now I'm really going to have fun on this island.
They creep forward in the direction of Robyn with evil grins on their faces. Then sparks fly from Waddington's head again, and he turns back into his old snooty self, grabbing Benji and pulling him back through the sand.
We'll start by going through your times tables, Master Benji.
No!
Sparks fly from Waddington's head again, and he turns back into an evil robot, letting go of Benji.
What are we waiting for, Master Benji? Let's make that kid worship their bratty rich boy and posh robot overlords.
They creep back in the direction of Robyn with evil grins on their faces. Then sparks fly from Waddington's head again, and he turns back into his snooty butler form, grabbing Benji by the collar and pulling him back through the sand.
And then we'll do some additions and subtractions, and then some simple fractions.
Is Benji Gunn's hour of vengeance at hand? Will he conquer the island and make Robyn bow to his every fiendish whim? Will he learn how to multiply decimals by other decimals, as well as whole numbers by the powers of 10? Find out next time.
I'd watch that. Any comments, guys? Did you feel that was more interesting, exciting?
Definitely, yeah.
I liked the new Waddington, both evil and good. I thought that was great. I loved it all.
Yes, yeah. Do we want to open things to the wider?
And John, so you've got John here from Cloth Cat Animation.
Hello.
See what you think, and then if people want to say stuff after John, think of a question, and we can choose to ignore it or say it. No, please.
Get back in focus.
It was
I
great.
know, yeah.
It's so visual. It's fantastic. And yeah, I think the voices all the second time around are good. Actually, I quite like the Margaret Thatcher with the lisp. It actually makes it sound even more lizard-like. So I think it's actually more appropriate.
Very well then.
It's almost like the animals of the island sort of learnt to speak from sort of radio signals. They've kind of got the accents of famous people from the people they heard. I quite like the idea of doing that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Waddington was good as well. I think there's an enthusiasm there, and also with Benji, there's even more desperation in his voice. Almost like he's like sort of one push away from losing all his temper. You know, just having a tantrum. I think it was great fun.
Yeah, yeah. If we had more time, we'd get Julianne to stamp and yeah. But it is interesting watching you because you do all sort of start to inhabit the characters. But what's interesting as an animation director, is this Margaret Thatcher thing, this monitor lizard. I would definitely want to give a big tongue to the character now, and then feed back into the voice. So, cross-fertilization is important, I think, to, for the voice artist to contribute, and then that can get picked up. Of course, it has to happen at the very beginning of the whole process. But is a monitor lizard like an iguana? Are they big?
Bigger, yes.
Bigger, sort of smaller than a Komodo dragon, I'd imagine.
Yes,
But sort of at least like 4
It would
feet.
be lovely to give it a bit of a quiff. But I love the idea that they've learnt to talk from newspapers and things. That's quite a nice thing.
It's very
I
funny,
thought there was
Robyn.
an element of Kenneth Williams to Monkey without just completely imagining that.
Sorry, what?
I thought there was a slight element of Kenneth Williams to Monkey. Did I just imagine?
I mean, it could come in. I was sort of imagining he was
I
always
might.
eating something, but yeah, he'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's good. I do like that.
But that's that's good because people are getting inspired with things now, and you'd probably never thought of Kenneth Williams or Maggie Thatcher, JD.
No, I suggested a touch of Brian Blessed for Parakeet, but that's the only famous person I suggest.
Yeah.
He's a bit blustery, but probably not that blustery.
Yes, but in the process of things, it would be lovely to have a table read through with the actors and the animators and the designers, where all these ideas suddenly emerge and we all go away and say, yeah, Maggie Thatcher, that's brilliant. Why didn't we think of it?
Jennifer Swan saying it would be interesting to hear the robot have glitches.
Yes.
Did we say that already?
No, but
Sorry,
it came up.
Yeah.
And that would be good to have a transition, or maybe the gag is he gets hit by the coconut and instantly, or maybe there's a slow transformation as he morphs into the other character. But all these ideas are fantastic, and they weren't there 20 minutes ago. So this is, I think what we're all trying to say as voice artists, you come in at 9:30 on a cold thing and have to do it. No, you need this.
It's nice to have this and to show
this period of collaboration and things that JD may not have heard and you may not have thought of without his input. So it is a two-way thing, the whole thing. And obviously it all depends on budgets and schedules and getting people together. But it is important. It really is important to have the room, have the time to go down the wrong direction.
Barry, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you because everything you're saying is so brilliant. But we do need to move on to the next.
Yes, I was just going to segue, and with that,
and I interrupted and mucked it up. So sorry.
We move on to the nudist.
Reef Rockers.
Reef Rockers.
And Pete Phillips.
Pete is.
Yes, yeah, I'm going to mute myself and pass the baton to you, Pete.
Good evening. So I was enjoying that. Great work, JD, on the script there. It was really enjoyable and great listening. Just seeing the process work. Very new industry to me, so it's fascinating to watch. So yeah, I'll introduce the Reef Rockers. So it was formerly called the Nudibranchs, which is why there may be some confusion there. So, but the Nudibranchs are real life creatures, and it was a diving trip to the Philippines about 5 years ago where I was pointed out these beautiful brightly coloured sea slugs that I thought would make wonderful cartoon characters, and ultimately the Nudibranchs and the Reef Rockers was born. So they're all based on real life sea slugs, and they're the sort of 5 friends you can see there. in the middle of the slide there. And they make up the band, the Reef Rockers, and they have an unusual and powerful secret that takes them on incredible adventures. And they possess a magical brain coral called the Coral Stone. And this extraordinary stone has the power to transport them to any reef in the world where their help is needed. The Coral Stone also grants each of the friends a special power, a special badge that they can use on their adventures. And they never know where in the world they may be called to help out. So that's important just before we hear the first script. So should we meet some of them? So the first one is Flash. She's probably the main character, a little bit of a tomboy, but as an archetype, probably the sovereign of the group. Very cool teenager, actually a sort of orphan and raised by a group of hermit crabs, but very cool, into computers, electronics, loves to DJ in her spare time. And the magic badge that has been imparted on her is a flash badge, which allows her to move at great speed. And her best friend is Luca. So I'll introduce you to Luca. Luca is the next slide down.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
Brilliant, thanks. So Luca is ultimately Flash's best friend. They get on really well, and she's much more of an academic, more of the sage archetype of the group. Very good at maths, very good at science, but also very good on the saxophone. And her magic badge is she can become transparent or invisible to hide from others. Next one down is Yazoo. So Yazoo's quite a nervous character, much more of the lover in the group. And he is actually the one that introduced the rest of the nudibranchs to the Coral Stone and the magical powers that the Coral Stone brings. Yazoo's a fantastic artist, bit of a juggler, a little bit of I suppose, circus acts within the history of the family. And Yazoo's magic badge is he can grow big or small, and that's sort of imparted to him by the Willow Stone. The next one down is Boo. So Boo is originally born in Bamboo Beach in Jamaica, but came across to Indonesia, and they live on Garden Reef collectively. Very cool. Now Boo actually is blind, and because of that, he's got fantastic hearing and a real good ear, keen ear for languages, and can speak a whole host of different languages. More of the joker of the group, very cool. And his magic badge is he can create a bubble around him to float over the reef. And then the fifth nudibranch, last but not least, is Rosa. She's more sort of the warrior archetype of the group. Again, sort of uber cool, quite feisty, loves to look good, brilliant singer, brilliant on the guitar, but she's also very good sort of mechanic, very good at fixing things, very practical, and helps out with her sort of father in the garage, but also works on bits and pieces on her own with the help of a little prawn called Spin. And her magic badge is she can create multiple sort of versions or holograms of herself. And each one of these badges, only one of these badges comes out in any one episode. So just to talk about the world that they live in, which I think is the next couple of slides. We'll skip past those. So Grimpo, in fact, we'll go back to Grimpo, sorry. There are two main supporting actors, Grimpo and Bardo. You'll hear about Grimpo in this first episode, but Grimpo's more the sort of wise uncle of the group, actually a teacher at their local school, used to be in a band when he was younger, very cool when he was younger, a little bit cheeky, has a big love of clam cookies, but is at wise shoulders for the nudibranchs and guides them in the right direction when he needs it. Grimpo also knows all about the reefs and the ecology and the biodiversity on the reefs, and is loved by everybody on the reef. He doesn't have a magic badge, he doesn't go through the stone, but he's always there for the nudibranchs and the reef rockers when they need his help. So just moving on to the world they live in. So their home is set in the coral paradise of Garden Reef in Indonesia, but their adventures take them all over the world. Their environments are very much like ours. So they've got time, they've got clocks, they've got cities, they've got towns, villages, buildings, schools, cars, cafes. musical instruments, concerts, cars, etc. Obviously not diesel petrol cars, much more eco-friendly things that move around the reef. But unlike humans, they live in the magical coral, where the reefs are bright, they're colourful, they're full of music, and they may see bigger creatures in the sea, but they tend to keep their world to the smaller friends on the reef. So it's primarily other nudibranchs, it's little crustaceans, seahorses, prawns, crabs, little sea snakes, that kind of stuff. And they move around on their sort of single foot, their belly, and they use their sort of foot skirt and their tentacles as their hands. And you can see here just some of the different images of what they get up to in their world as they travel around helping people and solving mysteries. So the first story, or the story you'll hear, is called The Grand Fate, and this is the sort of pilot episode. And yeah, thanks to Danny Stack and also Jean, I know he's on the call, who introduced me to Danny in the first place. But I know Danny couldn't make it tonight, but it's been great working with Danny over the past few months. But this is all the first episode where the nudibranchs are on the reef, and it follows a typical episode where they're playing together on the reef. The coral stone calls them, they find out where they're going to go, they get taken to that spot on the reef in the world to help the individuals, and then they have a bit of a song at the end. And I've actually only shared probably 3/4 of the script, so that's all you're going to hear tonight. But this is The Grand Fate. So reef rockers are surprised when they get a call from the coral stone where help is needed on their own reef. So they're not traveling around the world. They're going to stay just at home and provide help where that's needed. So that's a bit of an intro. Sorry if I've gone over.
Thank you. That's cool.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, I'll just have a quick 30 seconds. I mean, I love it, and it's going to be superbly visual. And I like the sort of the clash of cultures, like the Flintstones. You know, they still live in a human world, but they're doing it their way. The challenge, I think, for the artists in front of us today is, do we acknowledge they're underwater or are they just speaking normally?
I think normal, I would say.
But it might be interesting just to have the odd bubble or something coming out at the end of sentences, because it's going to be so visual, and maybe it's a post-production thing to add the watery thing. And the way they move, and they've all got different tentacles, and they float and they think, you know, the water is a huge part of it, but it might be worth just playing and discarding some watery stuff. So let's read it. We do have some stage directions, but remember they are musicians and they've just come off a rehearsal, so they're probably buzzing from rehearsal things before the drama kicks in. And this is going to be very interesting. Shall we just start reading it and see what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
not
do it.
sure what I'm going to do for the voices here. We'll see.
No,
We'll
well,
find
this is what we're playing. You know, but I think the movement of these characters is going to be absolutely essential. So try and put a physicality into the voices, and maybe try the odd bubble or something afterwards.
Okay. You want that? Okay.
Okay, let's just see where this goes. This will might shock Peter. He might go, "Oh my God," or maybe
Don't worry at all.
some ideas may come up that he hadn't thought about. So, guys, you're not being auditioned. You've got the parts already, so just feel welcome to your inner sea slugs.
Upbeat. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Upbeat music plays as our lovable gang of nudibranchs jam in the middle of a concert. It comes to a rocking finish.
We are the Reef Rockers! Thank you, and good night! Wow!
A light sparks, giving Yasu a fright, who knocks over Boo, and the whole band crash off stage. The main light comes on.
I don't think a stage dive is such a good idea.
Whoa! Stage dive! Reef-tastic! It was the light. Gave me a fright. I didn't mean to bump into Boo. Then we all fell. Oh.
Relax, Yazoo. Tranquilo, man. We'll be A-okay for the real gig on Saturday night.
Y'all better be right, because my guitar is now crazy out of tune.
Twang!
Sounds like we need a time out to the Rockpool Cafe. What about all our stuff?
What's the problem, man and me? Come now.
The gang head out of the hall, but in the shadows, an ominous figure watches them go. Flash and the band enter the cafe and join Grimpo by a booth. Grimpo chomps down on cookies. Here are my rowdy reef rockers. How was rehearsal?
On the edge of greatness, literally.
Flash thinks you're too big for this small pool vibe.
Too right. Today, Garden Reef. Tomorrow, the world.
Every reef is unique, however big or small. You should always appreciate the things that are closest to home. Ooh, like these clam cookies. Flash reaches for a cookie, but Grimpo uses one of his tentacles to prevent Flash from taking one. No. Then all the nudibranchs start to glow in various individual colours.
The coral stone is calling us.
Something's up. Great. I mean, let's check it out.
Flash and the gang head out. These are my cookies. Who does she think she is? Flash and the gang assemble around the coral stone, a magical coral in the middle of the reef. The gang still throb with colour, and it's in sync with the coral stone.
Oh, yes! Travel, adventure, excitement. Where's the coral stone going to send us today?
The coral stone illuminates various exotic locations as it flashes before settling on a familiar-looking reef.
Here, the Garden Reef.
Weird. Is the school? We've just been there. Sorry, darling. You might need a way for travel and adventure.
Still room for excitement. Last one back to the school is a sea slug.
The gang head back and head inside the school hall.
Laura, what's the rumpus?
There's something fishy going on. I can feel it in my gills.
Rosa looks at the empty stage.
Something ain't right. Where's all our instruments? They've been stolen.
Oh, but we can't play our concert without instruments.
A police siren blares.
Nino, 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 Nino.
And a police nudibranch arrives, a flashing light on his head. Hilo, a deluded crime fighter.
Hello. Someone reported robbery. Never fear. I'll find the culprit before you can say I was thinking more. Hilo, the police detective. That's me.
Luca, you're like super fast with facts and figures, but all our stuff gets stolen and you want to have a fete.
Help us raise enough clams to buy new instruments for our concert. We could split into 2 teams.
Cool. You, Yazoo and Rosa set up the fete. Me and Boo will track our tunes and catch the thief.
Yeah, man. A-okay.
Everybody heads out. Hilo sniffs and checks around the place.
Don't worry, my fellow nudie branches. Nothing gets past Hilo, the great detective. It's super skill, super awareness, and super. Oh, where do they go? Oh dear.
He slides out, trying to catch up, but in the wrong direction.
Now then, it takes a master police detective to follow clues, track evidence, and get on the right trail. Aha!
He pulls on a bit of seaweed, but it's actually the tail end of a sea snake, which reacts and pulls Hilo right past Flash and the gang.
Whoa!
Time to split up. Time to get busy.
Flash and Boo head along outside the general store looking for clues. Boo feels his way along as he's blind.
Hey, que cosa?
A broken bit of seaweed and a slimy trail.
They follow the trail, which brings them to the stadium.
Huh? The trail stops here?
A shy young rock crab scuttles past.
Hey there! Yeah, you crazy crab. You seen anything fishy?
Lead the way, my brethren.
Rosa is busy setting up fun stalls and attractions for everyone. Bobbing for donuts, Splat the sea cucumber, cockle shell throws, etc. Yasu juggles with a few cockles.
What? Roll up! Roll up! Come and have fun at the fade!
Rosa tweaks the Ferris wheel with a spanner.
Now we can spin that wheel.
More and more nudibranchs gladly hand over their clam entrance fee to Luca.
Oh, we've raised 50 clams so far. 50 clams is only enough to buy a new guitar. We need to raise lots more.
But look at y'all. We'll have clams in no time.
Where's the clam box? It was here a minute ago.
Oh no, oh no. It must have been stolen.
This is a disaster. I hope Flash and Boo are on the thief's trail.
Cut to Flash and Boo heading along the reef.
Look, Boo, another slimy trail.
Molto gentile.
Yeah, yeah. Let's surprise them. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Flash and Boo jump around the corner, but there's no one there.
Huh? It's a dead end.
Where are all them trails?
A rock crab picnic.
Flash points over to a small gathering of young rock crabs, enjoying a picnic underneath the dead-end rock. Flash is annoyed and disappointed. She and Boo take up a position that overlooks Garden Reef.
Stupid thief, stupid concert, stupid Garden Reef. Not reef-tastic.
Flash appreciates the view of the Garden Reef. It's particularly stunning, and you can see the grand fate in the distance.
Whoa, I've never seen Garden Reef like this.
A shoal of fish swish by in a pleasing harmony.
Heard such cold sounds, mon amigo.
Can't see from up here when we're always down there. Oh, maybe that's it. Come on.
Are you okay?
Hilo, the police nudibranch, arrives at the vantage point just as Flash and Boo leave.
Finally. Clues. Trail. Thief. Rock crabs?
He sees the rock crab picnic and they say hello.
What? No thief? You mean the clues have been one big red herring? Oh, pah!
Just then, a red herring swims by.
How woo! Oh.
Love that.
Well done, guys.
Yay! That was very fun.
Oh,
It's very fun, isn't it?
Thank
What we
you,
want-
Matt.
Peter, what were you on when you wrote that?
Well, that was a bit of help from Danny. I'll have to ask him, but yeah, that was fantastic, guys. Amazing.
It is crazy. It is crazy. I do think, I'm assuming you're thinking of drawn animation, flat CG animation.
Yes.
Yeah. And looking at those images, they don't have arms exactly as we have them. So I think a lot of the animation is going to come from the mouth movement, I think. And I think it's worth keeping some of the bubbly stuff, because that just does remind us that we're underwater. And it is going to be so visual. And I think with a bit more rehearsal, we'll find some movement of coming in, they will be swishing into shot and swishing out of shot. So we'll try and find that in the voices as well. Boo is fantastic. He should have his own series. I think he's got lots of stories.
Yes. Yeah.
But Peter, do you want to say anything? How would you like to see it different? Hear it different?
I mean, firstly, just that was, my eyes were welling up, I think, because you work on it, quite a lot, and hearing it like that is it's quite emotional. To be honest, it was great. So, thank you so much. You sort of, I suppose, create pictures of in your head, and I think if I was going to probably say a couple of things, and it's difficult, and I'm sure when you're doing more than one character as well, it's very, very difficult. But I think I'd say Lucas probably, in my view, almost sounds slightly older, maybe, and maybe a little bit more serious, I suppose. And then I think on the Grimpo, he's based on the Dumbo octopus, and I suppose I had his voice being a bit more. The voice that he was given there was probably a bit more of a bigger character, whereas I think he's a slightly sort of delicate creature almost, and I think it's slightly softer, but has that wisdom and that softness, if that makes sense. I wouldn't have a clue how to do that in a voice. But
I will have a go.
I think if we speed up Grimpo as well, he felt a bit slow in all the energy that was going around, unless we make a thing of that. But I think just speed him up a bit more, I would.
Okay, yeah.
And I think Grimpo will be lovely to animate with his, get the word right, tentacles.
Yes.
And, there are lots of visual gags to be had having that, with all the tentacles and things. Any other comments, Peter, or from the actors?
I was just thinking, what about adding a regional accent?
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, they're all quite British, aren't they? Unless or a European.
No, something northern is such a lovely.
Luca be northern.
You're biased. Or Welsh.
I mean, of course, Luca could have a northern accent.
Or Luca is Italian.
No, I don't think a stage dive is such a good
Yeah,
idea.
I mean, that works quite well because
very serious.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just do that.
Yeah, it is a crazy plot, and I think the red herring should come back again.
Yeah, it's hard without the visuals. I can imagine. Because...
Well, and this is the voice artist's lot. Who, because they're involved so early in the process, and there may not always be visuals, and they may not always see any movement. So they've got to, in the 3 hours that they're in a recording studio, they've got to imagine these slugs. And then the animator, they don't spend three hours on it. They spend 3 months on an episode or something. So it's somehow finding a way of helping each other, and I think the production houses can help by having more artwork and more animation tests to begin with, and then coming to see the animators. I think the answer is to have a session like this where we play around, and then we take it back to the production company, and they go, Oh, I love that. I love the northern accent. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. And so, too often you go into it cold and it's tough. It's tough for the animators. It's tough for the voice artists. So, maybe a little bit of rethinking with the production companies, or a bit of allowing in the budget for a morning of just going crazy with the artists and with the designers.
Even if we aren't the actors you use, I mean, it would help, I guess. But just to bring actors into it, because we're all about character development, which is what you're all about. But we don't actually speak to each other. So to have this, just, I mean, get in touch with us, because we have a huge bank of actors that actually have their own professional studios as well, and we like to play. And
the important
no, great. I mean, I know nothing about this industry at all. So.
Anyway, we better should we do one more read, and then we'll open it up for everybody. And
no, Julianne, I was just going to say, what's lovely about this is not having the pressure to get it right first time. You can really, even as we go through it again, you can slip in the northern one or slip in an Italian one. You're not being judged on this. It's just to play with ideas and everything. But so we could read it once more. But we like Boo. Boo is good. But it's good to have a character like that maybe slightly different, or is wiser, whatever. But the logic of this series with underwater and cars and things is a little crazy, and we love it. That's what animation is. Okay, everybody ready to go back again? And okay, this time no inhibitions.
Okay. You said it.
You asked for it.
Right. Well, this is what tonight is for, is to push yourself and be sluggy and bounce off each other, because we're not in the same room, but in effect we're in the same room. So feel free to bounce off each other and dare I say, ad lib a bit. Always up for a good ad lib.
Great.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, ready?
Go for it.
Upbeat music plays as our lovable gang of nudibranchs jam in the middle of a concert. It comes to a rocking finish.
Woohoo! We are the Reef Rockers! Thank you, and good night! Woohoo!
A light sparks, giving Yasu a fright, who knocks over Boo, and the whole band crash off stage. The main light comes on.
Ow! I don't think a stage dive is such a good idea.
Whoa! A stage dive, Reef-tastic! It was the light. You gave me a fright, and I didn't mean to bump into Boo. Then we all fell. Oh.
Relax, Yazoo, man. Tranquilo. We'll be blessed for the real gig on Saturday night.
Ah, you all better be right. My guitar is now crazy out of tune.
Sounds like we need a time out to the Rockpool Cafe. But what about all our stuff?
That's the problem, mon ami.
The gang head out of the hall, but in the shadows, an ominous figure watches them go. Flash and the band enter the cafe, ding, and join Grimpo by a booth. Grimpo chomps down on cookies. Howdy, man, hear me rowdy Reef Rockers. Hey, how was rehearsal?
On the edge of greatness, literally.
I thinks we're too big for this small pool vibe.
Too right. Today, Garden Reef. Tomorrow, the world.
Hang on, yeah. Every reef is unique. I don't know why he's gone Jordan. Every reef.
Great.
Every reef is unique. However big or small, you should always appreciate the things that are closest to home, like these clam cookies. Flash reaches for a cookie, but Grimpo uses one of his tentacles to prevent Flash from taking one. Then all the nudibranchs start to glow in various individual colours.
The coral stone is calling us.
Something's up. Great! I mean, let's check it out.
Flash and the gang head out. These are my cookies. No, sorry. Oh, hey, man, these are my cookies. Who does she think she is? Cheeky. Flash and the gang assemble around the coral stone. A magical coral in the middle of the reef. The gang still throb with colour, and it's in sync with the coral stone.
Yes! Travel, adventure, excitement. Where's the coral stone going to send us today?
The coral stone illuminates various exotic locations as it flashes before setting on a familiar-looking reef.
It isn't that.
Here, the garden reef.
Weird. It's the school. We've just been there. Sorry, darling. You might have to wait for travel and adventure.
Still room for excitement. Last one back to the school is a sea slug.
Gang head inside the school hall.
Ah, Alara, what's the rumpus?
There's something fishy going on. I can feel it in my gills.
Rosa looks at the empty stage.
Something ain't right. Where's all our instruments gone? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, they've been stolen.
But we can't play our concert without instruments.
A police siren blares and a police nudibranch arrives. A flashing light on his head. Hilo, a deluded crime fighter.
Hello. I've always wanted to say that. Someone reported robbery. Never fear. I'll find the culprit before you can say, what you can say.
A grand fete.
Well, I was thinking more of Hilo, the great police detective.
Luca, you're like super fast with facts and figures, but all our stuff gets stolen and you want to have a fete.
It'd help us raise enough clams to buy new instruments for our concert. We could split into 2 teams.
Cool. You, Yazoo and Rosa set up the fete. Me and Boo will track our tunes and catch the thief.
Ah, yeah, man. Bless up.
Everyone heads up. Hilo sniffs and checks around the place.
Oh, don't worry, my fellow nudibranches. No, nothing gets past Hilo. Literally nothing. The great detective, super skill, super awareness, super... Oh, no. Where did they go?
He slides out, trying to catch up, in the wrong direction.
Now then, it takes a master police detective to follow the clues and track evidence and get on the right trail, which is aha!
He pulls on a bit of seaweed, but it's actually the tail end of a sea snake, which reacts and pulls Hilo right past Flash and the gang.
Whoa!
Time to split up, time to get busy.
Flash and Boo head along outside the general store, looking for clues. Boo feels his way along, as he's blind.
Yo, que cosa?
A broken bit of seaweed and a slimy trail.
They follow the trail, which brings them to the stadium.
Huh? The trail stops here.
A young, shy rock crab scuttles past.
Hey there. Yeah, you crazy crab. You seen anything fishy?
Lead the way, my brethren.
Rosa's busy setting up the fun stalls and attractions for everyone, bobbing for donuts, Splat the sea cucumber, cockle shell throws, etc. Yasu juggles with a few cockles.
Roll up, come and have some fun at the fete.
Rosa tweaks the Ferris wheel with a spanner.
Now we can spin that wheel.
More and more nudibranchs gladly hand over their clam entrance fee to Luca. Clink, clink, clink.
We
I've raised 50 clams so far. 50 clams is only enough to buy a new guitar. We need to raise lots more. But y'all, look! Hey, we'll be having the clams in no time.
Oh, where's the clam box? It was here a minute ago.
Oh no, it must have been stolen.
Oh my gosh, this is a disaster. Whoa, I know Flash and Boo are on the thief's trail.
Cut to Flash and Boo heading along the reef.
Look, Boo, another slimy trail.
Molto gentile, brother.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Let's surprise them, yeah? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
Flash and Boo jump around the corner, but there's no one there.
Huh? It's a dead end.
Where were all the trails then?
A rock crab picnic.
Flash points over to a small gathering of young rock crabs enjoying a picnic underneath the dead-end rock. Flash is annoyed and disappointed. She and Boo take up a position that overlooks Garden Reef.
Stupid thief, stupid concert, stupid Garden Reef, not Reef-tastic.
Flash appreciates the view of Garden Reef. It's particularly stunning. You can see the grand fate in the distance.
Whoa, I've never seen Garden Reef like this.
A shoal of fish swish by in a pleasing harmony.
Oh, I heard such cool rhythms, man.
Can't see from up here when we're always down there. Maybe that's it. Come on.
Are you okay?
Hilo the police nudibranch arrives at the vantage point just as Flash and Boo leave.
Where's my asthma pump? Finally! Clues! Trail! The thief! Rock crabs!
He sees the rock crab picnic and they snip a hello greeting at him.
What? No thief? You mean the clues have been one big red herring? Oh, bah!
Just then, a red herring swims by.
How rude! Oh, never coming here again.
That was brilliant, guys. Of course, one of your qualities that you need as a animation voice artist, I mean, you know, you're so versatile and you've got a million voices, but you have to keep a muscle memory in your throat somehow. You have to remember what that is, because you'll record 4 episodes today, for example, and then come back in 3 months' time, and you've had a baby, or you've had life, or you've had COVID, or whatever, and you've got to find that voice again. And people think, oh, it's easy to do voice acting for cartoons and things, but cartoons really stretch the vocal gymnastics of a performer, and you have to be able to remember that voice.
I think sometimes we can use like a physicality. So if there's something about the character, I know when you were playing Flash, Rhiannon, you would often go, oh yeah, and it was this sort of a late, it was a thing that you did, and you take that so you can kind of remember by bringing the character back. Physically, I'm very physical.
Because you could have gone away and done Shakespeare between recording episodes. But it is hard to find that memory in your throat, and people do underestimate the animation actors. But that was lovely, and even second time round there was much more energy, and I could see how I would animate it, and I could see ideas I hadn't thought of before, which is the whole point of these sessions. Peter, do you want to say anything?
I just think you nailed a lot of that. That was fantastic. I think the speed of it was faster, and it was more fluid, or it felt more fluid. And I think there were certain bits when they were talking about creating the fate, which is quite a quick transition in that point. But you in that second point, you managed to get the distinction in that transition of thinking about the fate and moving on to having it. And I think the northern accent voice worked really well, actually.
Yeah, and being able to ad lib, we can always pull back the ad libs, but yeah, Dave Jones just asking, yes, you would have reference tracks from previous sessions, but a recording of a series, you know, could go over 2 years, and your voices do change. Yeah, it's this muscle memory is really important.
I often record them on my phone when I'm in the session, just so I can run in and just quickly remember. Anyway, we should move on to John, and then, you know, actually, you know, when John's finished, everybody, it's a free for all.
Everybody unmute.
Yeah, please do unmute. Yeah, go for it, John. What did you reckon?
No, I really loved it. I think actually what I enjoyed as well was all the extra characters, the rock crabs. I mean, Julian, Rianne, we've gone through this process already with the project, sort of based off the success of, you know, the previous ones I was involved in. And I think what we found is that actually going through the action is just as important as going through the script, because you get all the extra wally, you get all the extra motions, you get the breath sounds, you get the movement that actually you often have to go back in ADR or just use library for. And this process has really helped me understand a lot more about the importance of getting it right in, you know, as part of a group effort. And I know we'll be using this a lot more.
Yeah, it's good, and you know, I always encourage people to ad lib, but the difficulty about ad libbing is making it sound like a spoken line, because you can, you know, usually have to be or not to be. No, it's making it part of the same world. So you have to have confidence to make the ad libs part of the same world. But there were some lovely ad libs. I think the whole thing is with animation, because animation is so labor intensive, it's anything but spontaneous. We have to put that spontaneity into it. And certainly on the shows I've worked on with Julianne, we've encouraged slightly random quirks and things. You know, the printed page is there, but there's more to it than that. We have to release the printed page. And, you know, the spontaneity, because, you know, stop motion, stop. We need to create the motion in the voice and in the characters. It's all an illusion. But so I think, you know, if we liberate ourselves, of course, some series film first, which is a nightmare, and then add voices to it afterwards. I don't know why that happens, but it's budgets and schedules and things. So this is the perfect way. So I would suggest, let's get the other members of the team in the series involved early. And it may need a producer to say, yes, here's £50 to allow that. But it is important, and we've seen tonight that it's important, I think.
Let's open it up, everybody, and we want to see you. I feel very lonely. We want to turn your mics off and chat to us.
Hello, Jen.
We've got
Hi.
some questions and stuff coming through. I'll put the first one to Des because it's an actor one. This is from Helen, a lovely Helena Mitchell. She's a voice actor. As an actor, how do you get out of your head and really just fully into the world of the character? Des, I'm going to get my chair.
Okay. I think you just, like, the first time you read it, you do feel self-conscious. You think, oh, am I getting it right? Am I getting the words right? And then after that, like, you know, we were saying earlier, you start to have ideas. Something just comes to you and you think, oh, actually, you know what? I've got a silly voice that I'm going to try. And the thing that helps is if the people doing it, the people recording it or sitting there with you or writing it are like, you know what? Go crazy. Just get in there. Because they don't know that in your head, you've got an amazing Aussie accent or a brilliant Brummie accent that you turn on when you're drunk or when you're happy. So you sort of have to, it feels weird to just go, I can do all this. But actually, that's the best thing. You put it out there and then everyone says, oh, great, let's try that. Let's try that. And you're like, okay, yeah, let's do it.
And Des, going on from what you're saying, the animator will listen to the voice again and again and again and again. And I think he will develop a lexicon
Or
of.
she.
He will develop a lexicon of movement and gestures that define that character, and likewise with the voice actor, there'll be a lexicon of vocal tics that define that character. But it takes a while to find them. You can't. Oh, sorry, Alexa's just joined in. Alexa, go away. What are you talking about? I was doing my radio show the other day, and suddenly Alexa spoke, and she was talking about farting, and I thought, what on about? And it's because I'd played a piece of Wagner, the Siegfried Rheinfahrt, and she suddenly said, and here's something I found on the internet about farting. I do apologize.
Do those tics you can develop, do you have to develop those before almost episode 1, 2, or 3, or can you? Is there scope to sort of increase it as it goes?
Peter, yes, I would have a core of a library that you can draw on. It's shorthand, and I know it's cheap, but it is shorthand. And I did a film of Rigoletto where the nasty Duke went through all these women, and every time he went through a woman, he just combed his hair, and it became a pattern, and you could see the psychology of it. So it's developing little vocal gestures, physical gestures that show us what the characters are thinking.
Right.
We were talking like a northern accent or a lisp, or in the other episode, JD's episode of the tongue of the Margaret Thatcher thing. It's finding these things that help define those characters instantly. And because we're dealing with animation, we're dealing with 10-minute shows or 5-minute shows. We've got to get there straight away. We've got to know where we are. We can't waste frames. We can't waste frames setting up. Short film is not just a short, longer film. Short films are more intense and take more effort to read, I find. So the more you can help the viewer with these shorthand of gestures and things, the better, I would think. There we go.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah.
Has anyone got any other questions live rather than me looking on?
Eileen has just, you can answer that one, Joanne. Did you see that on the chat? Has anybody voiced any stop motion puppets?
Julianne, you just call me Joanne. Joanne is
it's
one of the women I work with, Joe Ruiz, on
secret love child between.
I was
or live action. Sorry, live action puppets.
Stop motion puppets. No, I didn't know.
Yeah, live action puppets is a whole skill, because usually the puppeteer is a trained puppeteer, also having to do voices. I would be a good puppeteer, but I cannot do voices. I've only got one voice. So I wouldn't be able to, I don't have the versatility to do live action puppets, but I could do the puppetry. It's like claymation actors, animators. They have to be able to sculpt as well as perform. But I think voice actors have, their strength is their versatility of, and often playing scenes with each other. Sometimes in a recording things, if the actor is doing 2 voices in the same scene, you would concentrate on one voice, play the scene, and then go back and perhaps do the other voice, because it is quite hard to switch voices in mid-sentence.
We've got a question from Kate Neelan hello Kate, in a real session, how much scope is there for play and experimenting? Well, because the voice actors come in and we're so expensive, I think they're going to minimize that, and that's why I wonder whether there could be a playtime for more productions. I think it would add something.
Again, it's all down to budgets, isn't it? It's all down to an understanding. It's all down to budgets and understanding the contribution that voice artists can bring.
Just say from a cloth cap point of view, we did the same, didn't we, Julie, with our session. We had a play around beforehand just to go through some ideas and work with the other creatives as well, so they could actually hear it. And it was actually really valuable for that reason. We actually sort of went through a number of options, ticked some off, tried some other things.
Yeah.
And also, I think, you know, we only did like 6 episodes, didn't we? I know if we go back to it again, it'll be a lot more solid, but also I think we'll be able to try new things as well. I think it was really valuable for us.
Jen was wanting to ask a question. Jen House.
Hi. Yeah, this has been so fascinating. Like, yeah, well done. Yeah, my question, well, I've got an idea and a question actually. So an idea, it may be really far down the line, but what if Reef Rockers and Robyn Crusoe and Benji Gunn had a crossover episode? What if it was like the reef under the sea and then the island? But yeah, maybe different types of animation, but it was just a thought.
Okay, yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Lovely thought.
And also my question for the voice actors, what particular life experiences would you say helped you the most in becoming a voice actor?
Strangely enough, I'm going to get in there. I did a play where I didn't speak, but I got picked up by a voiceover agency because they heard me talking to them in the thing afterwards, and they didn't have weirdly. The reason why I started the story is because they didn't have anyone who sounded like me, so they were like, hang on, we need that. And so it sort of becomes that's a good thing to remember. They said to me, look, there's no one who sounds like you. There are a lot of people who sound similar, but not you. So whenever you're talking, whenever you're doing anything, you're bringing something to it that no one else has, you know. So that's always a great start to just go from there. That's how I got into it anyway.
Yeah.
I think probably losing any, nothing particular, but losing any self-consciousness, you know, that you get when you're a teenager and stuff like that, which is just when you're doing acting training and stuff, which I didn't go to drama school, but I love acting, I'm obsessed with it. And I think that was one of the key things for me, is to stop being so, actually, I think somebody said, how do you get out of your head? Sort of, it's kind of about not losing your own ego a little bit.
And I think it's, you know, we all probably had invisible friends, and it's being able to. I've got one here. Very quiet, haven't you? But it's the ability, the imagination to put into these invisible characters, to believe in them. It's taking the script and going one step further, and having the confidence to talk to thin air as though somebody is there. You know, when you're on stage, or on film, you usually have somebody to play with opposite, but sometimes in recording studios, you've got an actor in England, you've got an actor in America bouncing off, and it's trying to get that connection. It is all, you have to connect with the other characters and bounce off each other. And that takes a particular skill that, you know, talking to thin air, you have to imagine somebody is there. That's what I would say.
Right, we have to
wrap up, don't we, Jules?
Yes.
Thanks for answering my question, though.
No, that's
Very
cool. Thank you for
welcome.
asking.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Right, so we wanted to say, go on, Rianne, you start.
Yeah, we want to say thank you to Nathan and Des for throwing yourselves into the scripts and characters. Thank you so much. Thanks also to the writers for sharing their excellent work and letting us edit it down so willingly, in the spirit of Scripts Out Loud. Thank you to John Rennie, not only for sponsoring the Scripts Out Loud at CMC, but also for being a staunch supporter of what we do. Barry, we love you as well. We're so grateful for the time and your expertise that you bring to Scripts Out Loud time and time again. So thank you for sticking with us.
It's a joy.
Thank you also to Sharon Miller, who has produced this event. She's also been a great source of knowledge and inspiration for us. Thank you. CMC and all of your organisers that we've had trillions of emails exchanges with. Many thanks for inviting us. I mean, Rianne literally ran around her living room screaming with excitement when you asked us to be involved. We're so cool. We're both huge fans of the conference and are honoured to have held a space on your esteemed timetable. So thank you.
Yes. Okay, so now it's photo time. So if you do mind having your mug on social media, take off your camera now while I take a screenshot. And don't forget to say cheese. So I'm just going to go da, da, da. And here we go. Oh my God. Brilliant.
And you're
Thank
having
you.
a good time. Right. So what else was I going to say?
Could I just quickly say that Rob Price has done a cartoon, which is brilliant.
Ooh.
But I can't make his screen big, but I can see it in the corner of my screen.
Rob, can you hold it up?
Where are you, Rob?
There he is.
There I go. There I go. Righty.
Oh yeah, let's have a look.
So, unfortunately, today I really struggled to. Yeah, there's a lot of detail in this one, but the other one, I'll finish off the other one. But it was the illustrations on the second one are fantastic. I mean, it's like, woof, that's really hard to compete with, of course. But obviously, that's not what you're looking for.
That's what a dragon lizard.
Yeah,
Okay, monitor lizard. There you go.
Yeah. You could tell it's a monitor because it's got a badge.
A milk monitor. Was he?
There's very quickly, because I know we're running over, but I'm still
I like the
working on
policeman.
that,
Hello.
and I'll post that on Instagram.
Oh, Rob, that's amazing.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
there we go.
there you go. Right, there's that very quickly.
That's fantastic.
And, the previous one.
Okay. Yes.
I kind of figured that that this young chap would probably have one of those, sweater over
Oh,
his
a tied
shoulders.
up thing. Yes.
Yeah, rather than having because it's a beach, isn't it? It's an island, so I thought it'd have something like that, and maybe some deck shoes. Yeah, and then definitely I reckon the maniac butler will have like glowing red eyes when he's all out of sync.
Brilliant. Okay, let's finish up. What was I going to say? Where were we?
Well,
yes. Okay. So if you've enjoyed this evening, please can you tell people about it by sharing? Have you managed to put an image?
Yeah, Rob gave me some time. I put the image in the chat.
By sharing the image that Rianne's put in the chat and tag us on social media. But if you haven't enjoyed the evening, maybe don't do that.
And if you do want to keep in the loop with Jules and I and our many shenanigans, then come and join our mailing list. Julianne will stick a link in the chat for that now.
I'm not organised.
And finally, a massive thank you to all of you for being a brilliant audience tonight. We have had an absolute blast. So thank you so much. And we hope to see you again.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much, all.
Cool. We're going to play some music, and leave you to it. I hope to see you again soon.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yes.
Yes. And let's do it for real in live next.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Bye.
Ladies, you were magnificent. But you know, every character has to contribute somehow. You know, I work with puppets, and you know, a puppet may cost, for example, £8,000, and if his whole story is just saying hello,
yeah,
the producer will go, no, you can't. We can't afford to, you know, £8,000 for just one line. So just be careful about writing in too many extra characters. It's much easier with drawn animation to draw in a character. But, you know, like the red herring is such a lovely gag, but maybe he finishes every episode or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can't just build a character and that's all he does.
Right.
You know, so, and he was such a lovely character. And we gave him a soft R when we were rehearsing it, because rude is such a lovely word.
Yeah. No.
But if you have him, bring him back again.
Okay.
Because the animators will have gone to the trouble of designing him and building him, and it would be a waste to just for
not reuse him. Yeah.
Right, we're bringing this to an end, but
yes.
Thank you.
I'll see you very soon. Look at your messages.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Right.
you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody that came. See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.